I, 37F, love my husband, 41 male, more than anything. However, he's had such a low libido over the last 3 years that I'm really starting to wondering if I can do this much longer. Is divorce really the only option when everything else is so right? He is not cheating, his T levels have been tested and are normal, he is not overweight, he had a strong drive early in the relationship, he has Viagra but it doesn't really do much. Yeah, it helps hold an erection, but it doesn't generate any desire and it gives him migraines. My husband is incredible. He works probably 60 to 80 hours a week to provide above and beyond what we need. Our house is gorgeous, my car and overall safety is his priority. He shows love through acts of service and gift giving, it's constant. I have to watch what I say around him or he'll find whatever and get it for me. He's patient, reliable, generous, kind, hardworking, faithful, and he's sexy. But even after maybe 4 to 6 hard discussions about sex over the past 3 years, some discussions that caused me to cry, he doesn't get it. I've told him to write it on a calendar, that it doesn't even need to be penetration. I've kept up my end by giving oral whenever the mood strikes. I don't always want to, but he deserves it and it's what I'd want to. And that's just it. Even after saying I'm human, I didn't sign up for forced celibacy. Just give me a little something here and there. It's nada. I'm starting to really think we're never going to have a family even though he always talks about growing our family and having a child one day. But forget a baby, I can't even get him to do me. Nothing. Not even try. So I try to water our grass as much as I can, but I'm doing it 100% alone and damn it, non-stop sex is a pro for marriage and I'm young and hot and want it. What is the deal? So today, we're having another discussion. I'm at a loss for words at this point. I'm not going to leave him. There's no ultimatum to give. I've cried, I've been mad, I've approached it love, I've tried to model the sexual romance I'm seeking, I feel I've tried it all. I just want him to be happy, which I guess he is, like really happy and satisfied, which I know I can provide. I love sex. Hard, soft, spicy, vanilla, penetration, oral, porn, all of it. I never thought I'd be here. Please, after digesting all this context, if there's anything that you think would resonate when we talk tonight, other than begging, which I've done, share your insight. I know a lot of you will say to look inwards. I have and will continue to do so. Please trust me that I've been more than patient, understanding, and helpful. Also, I wouldn't accept weight or appearance as an excuse to ignore your partner for 3 years, but I'm 5 feet 5 inches 120 pounds and have maintained this weight my entire adult life. He is not gay. Lastly, when I point blank ask him what the deal is, he never gives me a real answer. And I know he's sick of this too, which is why I can't understand why he wouldn't just throw me a bone once in a while to shut me up. This is the only issue we have. But boy, it's a big one. He works probably 60 to 80 hours a week. Oop, these are new hours. It hasn't been like this for 3 years. But if this is the issue, how do I ease the stress so we can have sex? Oop, we peck, kiss and sometimes cuddle into each other at night. I'm fine that. I don't need much more physical touch regularly. But I do need sex as an outlet. And to connect my husband. Update 1. The gist of the original post is that for 3 years my husband and I have had sex like 10 times, except on our wedding weekend/honeymoon. I went on and on about all the talks we've had, how patient and helpful I've tried to be, how I still give him oral from time to time. BC, I can't just do nothing. I love all the sex and I need it in my life however I can get it. But he refuses me often and I feel that he fails to see me as human with sexual needs. No amount of words or tears has altered his behavior at all. So of course, there's a deep sadness that stems from no desire or intimacy from the only person in the world that matters, and from the person who promised time and time again he'd pay more attention to my needs, and from the person who otherwise goes above and beyond every day for me. It's been so confusing and at times, just downright cruel. He's never given me an answer or reason. He's never ever said anything other than he loves me and he'll try harder. Literally, y'all, I told him to put it on a calendar. I don't care. Just do me. And he couldn't even do that. After posting asking for help BC, I was planning to have yet another talk with him. I got so much great, but hard, feedback. Why are you talking again? He's been very clear he doesn't want sex. It won't get better so you have to decide for yourself to stay or go. He's lying to you. So true. So wise. But so painful. I got upset, deleted the thread, drove around for an hour in tears mourning us and my whole vision of our future, a vision he said he wants too. That vision includes trying to have one kid. I just want my little angel, if it's meant to be. And of course, I want a happy, healthy husband. It all felt like it came crashing down and I couldn't handle being advised to leave him. I'm sorry to you guys for bailing when you were in fact taking the time to offer great advice. And I did follow your advice and said fuck the convo. He knows what the problem is. And yes, to everyone's point, WTH was I going to say anyway? That night was calm, but I just got stoned when I got home and turned on LOTR. He stayed out of my way. I still didn't know what to say or how to say it, and was still digesting your words. Next day, yesterday. Woke up. First thought, fuck this. I deserve a convo and I'm going to tell this MF exactly what I fucking feel and that includes an ultimatum for divorce. So I told him that morning. Including the divorce part. Well. I'm in our closet changing after work and he comes in and closes the door. We have a big closet with a seating area where we chat sometimes, but never close the door. He says, "Look," and he pulls out his weenie and it's covered with a rash that has one open wound. He said, "This is awful for me to talk about. I have genital psoriasis. I got it from the stress of my brain injury." He was in the hospital for a month, couldn't hold a job, moved in by himself for a year before he felt he could function in society again. It's incurable, very painful, and flares up with stress. I looked at his dick and then looked him straight in the eye and said, "You've put me through hell for 3 years BC of this? You almost made me call off our wedding BC of this? You brought me to tears and made me question my own womanhood BC of this?" The conversation continued. Him, "I know. I don't know what to say. I was scared to death. It's not contagious." Me, "I know it's not. I wouldn't care if it was. I don't think you're cheating. But you've lied to me this entire time. You broke my heart over and over all BC of your pride and embarrassment over something totally fine and normal. I know. This is really hard for me and I'm trying to be vulnerable." I can tell he's physically uncomfortable at this point. No, it does not. I get what you're saying. At this point he brought up me sharing my ovulation schedule with him. He said he keeps it and tracks it, and unfortunately while he knows I peaked Saturday, he has an outbreak right now, as he showed me. That's no problem at all, but you have to tell me. As far as I knew, you were just ignoring the whole thing and that was awful. I'm thinking I'm on this boat with you and we're a team, and next thing I know I'm on an island by myself. We left it with an agreement that he'll let me know when he feels good and then I'll initiate when I'm in the mood. I've done a ton of research on this BC, as you all know I love this man and want to fix this, so I've learned about responsive advances and I think this may work better for him. Is this exactly what I wanted? Yes and no. Yes BC, I have cold hard facts that directly contribute to this issue. I already feel sexier and more in control. No BC, we're still going to have to wait to see if he takes initiative when he doesn't have an outbreak, which will be hard right now BC of the heat and his work hours. And yes, I did say that we could always downsize and that we can rethink having a child if money was the root of his stress. That all this, gesturing broadly, isn't worth losing this, gesturing between him and I. He swore it isn't and that he's in a great, but stressful position right now, and of course the 110-degree heat isn't helping. Overall, I'm satisfied. I feel lighter, reinvigorated to meet him where he is, and more confident as a woman. For the first time in a long time we had real intimacy. That moment in the closet was non-physical intimacy which I so desperately crave. And I now have a much better understanding of his mindset so I can adjust my attempts to seduce him. Wild ride. Thanks for reading. Edit, thank you all for sending me to the psoriasis sub. I've gotten hundreds of immensely helpful comments from those suffering and those whose partners are suffering. After learning more, I completely understand how insensitive suggesting oral sex was. That during an outbreak so much as a little chubby, much less a full erection, can be god-awful. I understand so much better now and will not put this expectation on him. Oop, I 100% agree. I told myself this is one step in a long journey, but if I'm not going to leave, then I gotta be willing to go through this. I feel much better, but I know we have a ways to go. Oop, I'm still resentful of this too. I'm trying to be supportive while also being pissed. In no way do I think this is 100% resolved. Oh, OP, I really appreciate you taking the time to reply. This is exactly how I feel too. I understand what everyone is saying, but I know him and he doesn't want to hurt or disappoint me ever. And he never has, except for this. Update 2. Hasn't even been a week and it's like I'm in a new marriage. We had our breakthrough and then he had to travel for work, but it gave me a few days to 1, digest everything, and 2, get all the products you guys recommended. He came home to his side of the bed full of different soaps, lotions, and underwear. I never said a word. He poked around and pulled some stuff out and took it to the bathroom. He said he doesn't like the Bombas undies I got but that he knows a brand he does like, they're just too expensive. This is a whole new layer to this. He literally said no to this expensive underwear BC, he'd rather spend the kind of money on me or something we both need. We've got to work on him knowing he is worth whatever the cost that's needed to bring him happiness. He's totally worth expensive undies, the derm visits, the shots and creams. If I have to pay every cent to get him there, that's fine. He takes complete care of me and would do the same. I also have Rex for docs, but that'll come later. I'm just so grateful he wasn't put off by me trying to help. He was open and curious, and we've even chatted a bit about the patterns he experiences when he has an outbreak. I felt so much more confident too. I was always awkward and uncomfortable kind of, not BC of him necessarily, but it was the constant rejection that just made me so confused. Does he even want me to touch him? Does he even like me? But now I'm rolling all over him and he's being so receptive. Grabbing me and dragging me all over him too. Calling me beautiful while looking in my eyes. Kissing my face, my head, my mouth. When it's time to get up I just simply say I don't want to hurt you and he picks me up and helps me off him. Easy peasy. Even this morning, I went to get up around 6 and he sleepily said no. Y'all, this man hasn't cared if I came or went for 3 years. Well, yes. He probably has but never knew how to say it BC, he knew I'd think sex and he couldn't do that. Gah. What a mind fuck for everyone involved. Eek. Now I just gotta chill and not be too much. Talk about it, but not too much. Help him, but not too much. It may take another 3 years, but at least now we're moving forward. I also now have an arsenal of sexually explicit things we can do that won't hurt him, thanks to all the men and women who've learned to navigate this with their loved ones. It's a new day, folks. And you apologized for your reaction when you asked him if he could go down on you when you saw his penis, right? Oop, we've both apologized to each other. Oop, one of our conversations after he told me what was going on was about his gift giving. I asked if he does this BC he feels he needs to make up for sex? And he said no. That it's just what he likes doing. So long as it's all healthy, that's fine with me. Now on to second story. Fiancé insisted I get baptized before our wedding, despite my atheism, and now I'm questioning whether to continue our relationship. I, 35F, and my fiancé Todd, 41 male, met over a decade ago and we have a mutual friend group. We started dating last year, and got engaged last month. Generally speaking, he treats me like a queen. He spoils me a lot and I appreciate it always. He's usually respectful and kind, communicative and patient with me. This started to change and I want to say it started to change once the ring was accepted. I need to be clear, I don't much care to get married. I am perfectly fine with not. My parents aren't married but they have been in love and together for over 40 years. My siblings are all but one unmarried but in seemingly happy relationships each at least for 5 years. But Todd is Christian and is of the mind that two people eventually need to get married to be happy. We talked about it at length both before we were a couple and after we started dating. I was clear that I don't want or need a ring but if it's important to a partner I come to love then whatever. I will do a small wedding. He was overjoyed when he proposed and I said yes in front of pretty much everyone in our little world but later said that I didn't seem excited enough and it felt like I didn't want to marry him. I said I love him and if he wants a marriage then sure, but to say I want to marry? I mean I know he wants to, and if that's what he wants, and since it doesn't matter to me either way, the math was easy. Let's get married. I said it sort of jokingly to lighten the mood but he didn't like that at all and nearly every other day he would find a way to ask me if I really wanted to marry him or he would simply that he feels like I don't. I suggested couples therapy as it seems to really be on his mind and troubling him, and he said he's done therapy before and doesn't need to do it again. Then last week, on our usual date night, he said he had something really big to ask me. Call it a favor if that makes it better and asked me to come to his church and get baptized. I stared at him. I am atheist and have been since I was mid-20s. He has known that for years, and we've always been respectful of each other's beliefs. I told him I couldn't do that. Baptism is supposed to be sacred and with a true heart for that faith, and I simply would be a liar if I said I wanted to live for his God because I frankly don't. He argued that it's just a splash of water and some words, and since he wants it before our wedding and I don't care about religion either way, this should be easy. I refused again explaining that I do care about religion. My majors were world religions and anthropology. I care a lot. And it would be dishonest to his God and our community for me to dedicate my life to his religion outwardly but not inwardly. I said it felt disrespectful to his faith and the people who truly live it. He got angry with me. Oh, so you're okay, disrespecting me, though, and when I asked what he meant, he said to drop it and change the subject. I pressed more, but he raised his voice. I said drop it. Loud enough for others to turn and look at us. He'd been robotic around me since. Days up in his study all night, sleeps on his study couch, goes to every service and event/gathering his church has, which is most weekday nights and Saturday morning as well as Sunday, and has been inviting me to every single one. He hadn't done that since we started dating. He did it then. I said I respect his beliefs and will go to something like a wedding or christening or baptism but not a simple service or event. When he asked me just a few minutes ago tonight, I reminded him of the above and he just dropped into our couch and sobbed, and when I went over to comfort and talk to him, he pushed me away and left muttering something about running late for service. His sister Esther texted me to ask what happened and I gave a brief summary and she texted back that I am being a jerk and one service isn't going to make me burst into flames and it's important to Todd. So am I being a bonehead? Am I crazy to think that this pressure is a deal breaker? I do love him, but this version of him is not only a stranger to me but a weight on me. But aren't people supposed to work through that hard shit to get on in a relationship? Edit to update. He texted me a few minutes ago saying when he gets home he wants to have a serious talk. I explained that my best friend is over so it will have to wait and he replied no. Tell her to leave. Give her my love but this is serious. I talked with my bestie Bessie F35 and read some of the comments here and told him no indeed. He can go home to his parents, and he is welcome to come in and pack a bag and leave because Bess is here for me right now, and I need her here for me right now. He hasn't responded. Edit to respond to things that have come up a lot either in messages or comments. He has never raised a hand to me. He would never, and if it's not for the reason I used to think, that he's not a dick, it would at least be because I'm a military brat. Both parents. So not only am I trained to defend myself well, but my parents ahem would not take kindly. A lot of people brought up kids. I can't get pregnant. I did want kids and then this happened. So now I am okay with the idea of not having any. He said he was okay with that too and we talked about just being dog rescue people. My family likes him. My father, a pastor, loves the guy. But no, I haven't told him about this yet. He is non-denominational and goes to a mega church in our state. Literally thousands of people. No, it is not a requirement for marriage at his church for me to convert. Oop, this is what confuses me most. If it's such an important part of his life, how is he okay with me lying and in sincerity devoting my life to Christ? I am not against people who have faith. But those that I know who do, truly do beyond platitudes and the mainstream, are kind and loving and would be offended so much if someone faked it and lied about it and gone through sacred rites and the like. It doesn't make sense why he keeps switching sides on it. Oop, that is terrifying. I was clear when I left the church eons ago that I am not and will not follow that faith. He never hinted once that I can think of to do what you're saying, but it really makes me think this might be exactly what he's doing. I can't get pregnant, so kids are out of the equation, but I couldn't bear it if he tried to push me more into his church life. I'm involved a bit to make him happy. I do help at certain events and such. I have skills they sometimes need, and not at all opposed to a food or clothing or back to school drive and the like. I figured it less about it being a church event and more a community event where we helped Opal. Update 1. Last week I posted about a problem between myself, F35, and my fiancé Todd, M41, because despite having been respectful of each other's beliefs until now, he is Christian and I am an atheist, he now wants me to get baptized. It came to a head and he stormed out, so I called my BFF to keep me company since I was pretty sad and emotional. I do a lot for him and Bess, the bestie, and a lot of you here helped me see that the relationship as is either needs to have serious changes to it or it needs to end. Logical. But logic is hard to cling to when you're heartbroken. I think I already knew he wouldn't change anything for me. I did text him that night that he needs to go back to his parents' house, the house we live in is mine, and that I needed space. Guess he and his sister gave his parents an alternate version of events because they came by that night anyway. All of them. His mom, dad, sister Esther, and him. He had a key, so he just walked in as Bess and I are drinking on the couch watching Netflix. I asked what he was doing here, and his family came into the room behind him. I asked what's going on. The way he looked at me is unexplainable, but his mom pushed by him and just yanked me into a very aggressive hug. She said that they were here to talk as a family and have a family meeting. And then told Bess she needed to leave. Bess refused. His mom turns to me to ask me to have Bess leave. I refuse. It's late, and I'm in not state to talk anything else. Please leave. It devolves into passive-aggressive disapproval that I won't take guidance from the man I plan to marry. His parents, his father is a pastor, sat down to give me what felt like a whole pre-planned spiel about how I'm an adult and need to act like one, and kicking a man out of his home for doing the right thing is a tantrum. His dad once even said that he is so disappointed in me and will be telling my father, also a pastor, about this. Gotta be honest, I was dumbfounded for 85% of this, and then finally, I guess it was the booze, started to laugh and told them to get out. His dad refused and called me volatile and suggested I get counseling. I told him this is my house, and I will call the police and to get the fuck out. It was the first time I cussed in front of them. Pearls were clutched, I was called trashy, and Bess held her phone like, okay, I'm calling the cops, she asked you to leave. I heard his dad say you're not marrying that as they left, and they muttered other hurtful things, making a whole thing of them being sad and disappointed by me. They left. Todd packed a bag and left with them. He continued to text me invites to services. It will help you. Stating that he is concerned about me and the path I am choosing. That his parents aren't sure he should marry me, but he loves me and wants what's best for me. I told him I need space and to leave me alone, but he kept texting. I said that the wedding is off, and Sunday when I got home from running errands he was on the porch crying. He had a handwritten letter that he wanted to read to me, but I said absolutely not and told him to go away. He kept asking me to think about what I am doing and how my choices affect more than just myself and more. I pointed to my doorbell cam and said I have footage of me repeatedly asking him to leave, and Bess was recording the night his parents and sister, and he ganged up on me. Go away. He threw his hand up like he was going to strike me, and I just screamed. I didn't even mean to, it was so sudden and it scared me. He went to start apologizing, but a neighbor came out to see what was happening and he just left. I texted him to never come back ever. He is no longer welcome. I will mail his stuff to his parents, but he is no longer welcome on my property ever again. He tried to apologize, but I no longer care to hear any of his words. He did leave his written letter and I have read it. So has Bess. She keeps telling me it's just manipulation, boo. It just breaks me. The locks get changed tomorrow. Bess is helping me pack his shit. His father is picking up his stuff tonight. And I am just sitting here replaying the past week and a half in my head over and over. I know it's pathetic, but I am shattered. I haven't been able to really sleep yet, and I feel like I don't even reside in my own body anymore. Just going through the motions. Bess is staying with me. I've been getting texts and social media comments about how disgusting I am, like my notifications just went insane over the weekend. This is just a nightmare and I'm not even sure how to wade through this. I am so overwhelmed by the comments and support. I am trying to reply, but I am tired and still a bit out of my head.